morning, gang. It's Friday the 9th of November 2018. Welcome along to this morning's United Kingdom Talk, coming to you from the Chapel Hill Marina in Lincolnshire. Boys and girls, I managed to trip the electricity this morning somehow. I don't know. I think 3 heaters must have come on at the same time. Not that it's cold, because it's not, is it? The sun at the moment, it's brightly shining, and the sun shining on the caravan does warm it up very, very quickly. Doesn't take long at all to warm up that, you know, sort of 7 o'clock in the morning. It's a little bit chilly, and I have 2 heaters that come on in the living room, and there's 1 heater on already in the bedroom, and I think the 3 is too much for the electrical supply because we don't have so much electrical supply coming into a caravan as you would a normal home. So I'll have to put the other one on the timer as well, I think, to make sure it turns off before the other 2 come on. It's all... It's very complicated living in a caravan. Well, a very good morning to you. I had some good news actually last night. This programme, when I'm here at Chapel Hill, we come to you over the 4G network. There is no wired connection here, and it's marvellous. It really is how it all works. Anyway, with my mobile 3 plan, I have, I thought I had, unlimited phone calls, unlimited texts, and an unlimited data. Okay, that's on the phone. Also with it, I understood, at least, well, I did. I was told back in March, April, that I had been increased from 10 gig to 30 gig a month in tethering or personal hotspot. Okay, so I've had to be a little bit careful with settings and things like that while I'm up here, because you don't want to get to the end of your tethering in a month or your personal hotspot in a month. I'll have to then buy extra. Okay, now I noticed on the 3 app, the last time they updated the 3 app on mobile phone, I noticed it's got like 3 bars. Okay, so I mean, if you're on a different plan than mine, like a lower plan, it would make a difference. To me, it doesn't make a lot of difference, except for the tethering. And it would say that there were 4 bars on there. Phone calls, all you can eat. So that went right across there. Then it said texts, as many as you can send. All went right across there, the bar. And it doesn't move, it never moves. As the month goes by, those bars don't move. And data, all you can eat. Right, and that goes right across. And then underneath that, it would say personal hotspot. And it would go from 0 to 30. And as the month went by, this little line went down. Okay, you know, from 30, 20. So you do a show like this, about an hour long, would cost me about 2 gig of data. Right. So I'm trying not to use so much data, which is why I don't like to have like a monitor on as well, because then you're sending the information out and getting it back down again. So it's costing you twice as much data. So I was always a bit careful about that. Well, on the last 3 update, app update thing, I noticed the final bar had gone. So the tethering bar, the personal hotspot bar, had disappeared completely. And I thought, oh, well, I've obviously forgotten about that, you know, and perhaps on the next app update, it will reappear as if by magic, because sometimes they do that. You notice that? Sometimes they do something, and then something stops working. A good example of this is that I lost the internet connection in my car at one point, you know, where the card talks to the phone, and the phone 4G and 3G's it somewhere to the towers and what have you. And they told me then, you know, that, oh, it'd be a software fault with Apple. It'll probably sort itself out the next time. And indeed it did. Indeed it did. So I thought they'd got something wrong. Anyway, we've just had another 3 update yesterday, actually. Another 3 app update, right? It's so exciting. I can see the excitement in your faces. I can. This is probably the most exciting story you'll hear today. It is. So last night, I thought I'd send them a message. You know, usually if it's important, I'll ring them up. But, you know, if it's not important, you just send them, you know, one of those chat help messages. A lot of people don't realise, when you chat in the little boxes, start live chat here and you start chatting away to the people. There's no one at the other end. It's a computer. You're talking to a machine. Did you know that? You see, I'm full of interesting facts. I'm possibly the most interesting person you're going to talk to today. Absolutely. I say that without fear of being wrong ever. No, I lie. I was wrong once. 1983, I got married. That was wrong. I think that's it. I think that is the only time I've made a mistake. I'm just trying to think of any other time. No, can't think of any other time. Anyway, so I start typing away, and then I was fourth in the queue, apparently. Fourth in the queue. Through that, and within 5 minutes I was down to the hello, how can I help you? Is it the number that you're texting from? Yes, this. Okay, I'll have a look at your account. And then she comes back to me. Now, what her name was something nice, like Primrose, or I think it was a Primrose or something like that. The name of the so-called person that I was talking to. And she came back to me. She said, I've had a look at your account. As your all-you-can-eat data, your personal hotspot is now unlimited. How fantastic is that? And I've got to say, since I rejoined 3 about 3 years ago now, their service has been second to none. I've got to give credit where credit is. I've got no complaints whatsoever. Now, I joined 3 years ago, must be about 20 years ago, when they first started. And they were doing all sorts of offers. They gave you 2 phones. They were the first ones with video calling. But I mean, it never really worked. I got a phone and I gave 1 phone to my mate. Let's try out this video calling. We had this phone for months. And I think we managed to get the video calling working once or twice in that time. It's not like now. I mean, it's fantastic now, isn't it? Ain't it? How you can just talk to someone on the other side of the world, face to face, and it's not costing you anything other than your internet connection. I love it. I absolutely love it. Well, in those days, they just started this thing, right? And it just didn't work. And I was having a problem with I can't remember what the problem was. And the customer service at that time with the 3 network was absolutely diabolical. And I tried to leave, and this, that, and the other, and it comes to the end of my contract, and I tried to leave. And honestly, this bloke from India rung up, and he said, I'm on my knees begging you to give us another chance. Are you for real? No, you've got it wrong. Goodbye. Well, that wasn't the end of that. Bills kept coming, and then I'd get a letter back saying that they owed me money. Oh, my word. And it went on and on. Anyway, so I swore I'd never go back to them. Back 2.5 years ago, I started streaming, 3 years ago, I started streaming the karaoke from where I do the karaoke night in London. We're on tonight, by the way. Central Station Karaoke, Friday night karaoke tonight, starts at 8:30 and finishes at midnight if you want to come down there, okay? North London, Central Station Bar, Wharfdale Road, King's Cross in London for Friday night karaoke, 8:30 to midnight. Tonight, hosted by yours truly. You'll meet some wonderful people if you come down there. Just fantastic characters. No one that is not a drone. What's that word? A clone. We don't have any clones there. It's not one of those people where you go in and it's full of millennials that all look the same, being offended by anything. It's not like that. We are full of characters who I hope at some point will offend you. If they don't, I probably will. But it's all about having a laugh. So that's tonight. And I started streaming the karaoke. But unfortunately, EE, who I was with, who I'd been with for years and years, very happy, but they couldn't give me any more data. And I was like, well, 3 are doing unlimited data. If you match that, I'll stay with you. No, they didn't do it. So I thought I'll try 3. And I went out and bought a little SIM card and I put it in the phone. I thought, well, surely their network won't be as good as EE. How wrong was I? It was fantastic. In fact, it worked better in places that I didn't have an EE signal. So I swapped over to them, and I've had a couple of problems, not with them, to be fair, Not with them sort of bill problems where I've been charged for by someone else other than Three on my bill, and then you ring them up and they refund you the money and chase it up. Absolutely fantastic. And then I've changed plans a couple of times, once or twice. You know, I'm on the best plan there is. £25 a month and I get unlimited everything. It's fantastic on Three, I'll tell you that now. So if you ever want to, you know, look for a decent, as long as you've got the signal, I'd advise anyone, if you ever want to change your provider, go and get one of the pay-as-you-go SIMs first and try it. Of course, your phone may well be locked to your original network, so you'll have to get that unlocked first, okay? And then just go out and buy a pay-as-you-go SIM with whoever, 3, 02, whatever. Try that in your phone and see that it works as well as or better than the one that you've already got. Otherwise, you can find that you change networks and suddenly that phone won't work as well in certain areas. So watch out for that. I've been very, very pleased with my Free. So that was a good bit of good news last night. I got unlimited personal hotspot as well. Absolutely fantastic. Right, let's say hello to some of you this morning. If you're new to the show, just a reminder, I tell stories, you tell stories. I read messages out, but the messages are not like the most important part of the show. Do you see what I mean? If I sat here and read messages, it'd be the same as every other show. I like to try and tell you a little story, my darlings, and have a little bit of a laugh with you. Who's first? And the message system seems to be working this morning. I can't believe it. Because I see that the first message of the day on the Facebook Live is indeed from Evan, who owns his own observatory. Will kill me for that. He owns his own observatory down in Cornwall, watching the stars and waiting for alien spaceship to arrive. Good morning to Evan. Morning to you. Over on YouTube, John Parrish, good morning. Joanna's there. Claire, missed the show yesterday. She loves the new opening music. Claire, where have you been, love? We've had that for about 3 weeks now. Do try and keep up with us, dear. We've had that opening music for 3 weeks now. Are you paying attention to anything going around you, Claire? Dear me. Are you along tonight for the karaoke? What are you singing tonight? Let's scroll down there. John Parrish, he's only seen the new intro today. Really? We've had that for 3 weeks now, John. Oh, dear. No one's paying any attention anymore. I just sit here and talk to myself. Don't bother me. I'll sit here and talk to myself, play myself some songs, and just, like, talk back as well. No one's listening. Good morning, Robert Lunn. How was the Queen film? Fantastic. Go and see the Bohemian... Is it called Bohemian Rhapsody? I can't remember now. But the new Queen film, which actually it'll be disappearing soon because it's been on a while now, hasn't it? Go and see the new Freddie Mercury Queen film. It is fantastic. It's a lovely story of how it was all supposed to be. Just marvellous. I can't praise it enough. Really, really good. Claire says the opening sequence is now like some epic western. John Wayne could suddenly appear. You never know. John Wayne. Oh dear. Hello to Patrick Lee Douglas. Good morning to you. He's new to the show today. Now, one of the problems I do have with this is that it jumps around all the time. The messages keep jumping up, and they jump back up to the top. Everyone sends a new one for some reason. Good morning to Patrick Lee Douglas, who said the Young Ones rock. I used to like the Young Ones. That was a great programme, that, the Young Ones. Wasn't it? Gary Butler, nephew Gary Butler's there. Morning, Gary. Kevin Webster, good morning to you. Patrick says, I forgot how cheesy life was. Life is very cheesy. Don't get too serious, Patrick. You get boring when you get serious. You've got to laugh at life. You've got to laugh at life. Claire reckons I've sold up Bracknell and moved up in style. Well, you joke there, Claire. I saw a lovely house yesterday. I've got a picture of it. I'll be showing you that a little bit later, all right, my darling? Good morning to Khalik. Morning to you, sir. Ray Reynolds is there. Good morning, Ray. He's going to be on the telly in January. Patrick Lee says, I used to be that happy. Well, you can be happy again. You can be happy again, Patrick, can't you? Try and be happy, dear. Morning to Paul Mosley in Birmingham. Hello to Veronica. A very good morning to Veronica. Let's have a look. Paul says those charity shops must donate good shirts in Lincolnshire. I like it, Chris. How much was it? I beg your pardon. This is a very expensive shirt. This costs £22. I think this one's from Amazon, actually. Go on Amazon if you want shirts. Really good, and it's good quality. Nice thick cotton. It's not thin. Never buy acrylic. No, not acrylic. What's that stuff? Polyester. Don't buy a polyester shirt. Oh my God, you stick to it. Sweat. In blood, sweat and tears. Fame it costs. And right here is where you start paying. Absolutely. Good morning to Thomas H. Morning, Thomas. Claire's going to be singing some Dusty Springfield. Are you going to do I Only Want to Be With You? Are you going to do that one? It doesn't matter where you are or what you do. I want to spend each moment of the day with you. 'Cause you started something I can't. Da 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 da. It's crazy, but it's true. Da, da, da. I only want to be with you. Are you doing that one? Or is it going to be... Oh, what's the ballad she does? Do 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 do. Da 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 da. You don't have to say you love me, but just be close at hand. You don't have to stay forever. I will understand. If you do that one, you get the cymbals, Claire. I don't think you've done a song where you get the cymbals yet, have you? That is a cymbal song. Those of you that don't know, I have a large pair, a large pair of cymbals that I crash at certain moments during the karaoke. Some people say, you do crash. Oh, do it again. No, because if I do it again, you lose the effect. You can have too much of a good thing. That's why I restrict the show to an hour. If I was on for 2 hours, it would be too much of a good thing. You know that. Thomas says, is that ISP in the USA? What, the 3 network? No. I don't know. Thomas, I was in Vegas. The other thing with the 3 network is that there's this long list of countries, as long as you're armed, that you can use your mobile phone from the UK in at no additional cost. And I was in Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and I used my phone as normal. A lot of data being used and sending videos up and things like that. Still cost me £25. Absolutely brilliant. I cannot praise them enough, the 3 network. They've really turned them around there, okay? Good morning to Jiminy Cricket. Who am I? Just have a look through my posts and you'll get a rough idea of who I am. Some sad old bloke sitting in a small room talking to myself. That's who I am. Some people don't get it. Some people don't get it and they turn off. Fine. But the people who do get it stay, and that's it. Claire. Fantastic song. What the A Little Piece of My Heart. Oh, get a little piece of my heart. I know that one. Oh, no, you won't be having the cymbals for that one, darling. That is not a cymbal song, Claire. It's got to be some sort of ballad with a big build-up, but sung properly. There are people who sing ballads not very well. No names are mentioned. No, did you see that? A name was trying to come out. A name was trying to come out of my mouth at the karaoke of someone who sings ballads, depressingly. But it will not reiterate from my mouth. I'm trying to hold it in, Claire. That's all right, Thomas. No problem at all. Good. Are we up on messages? Have we done all your messages? Let's have a look on Periscope. We've got a few people on Periscope as well this morning. Indeed, a very good morning to you. All right. Good. Where are we now? My mouth. I know sometimes things try and come out of it and I have to hold them in. And in particular, a couple of people who try and sing ballads at the karaoke that I do, you see, and they do them badly. I mean, really badly. You've got to be a ballad singer. And most of the people who do the ballads badly think they can do them properly. And one of them... Oh, sorry. Did you see it? And it tried to come out again. The name of the person. No, mustn't come out of my mouth. Got to hold it in. Hold it in, Thomas. Well, after the show yesterday, I popped down to my nephew's. I was on my way to my nephew's, Gary, because my sister is doing a bit of painting at the moment. One of the little girls, Olivia, she's a little, very badly disabled little girl, she is. And they had a bit built on the side of the house to give her a large room, a special bathroom, special bed. Awful, you wouldn't believe the amount of equipment there are. This little girl, she's about 2 years and about 2 and a bit years old, she is, I think. And she's got all this equipment and all that. So my sister went round to paint it yesterday. On the way there, I was distracted. I was distracted because the night before I'd gone shopping in the Co-op and then gone round to my niece's house, which is just up the road as well. And I knew I was going to do it. I bought blueberries and some vegetables and I put them in the fridge. I said, can I leave those in the fridge till I go? And of course, you know what happened, don't you? You know, I went and of course I left the blueberries in there. So I thought, well, I'll just pop round to the hairdressers. My niece has got her own hairdressers. And I said, can I come round and collect my blueberries later? She said, yeah, okay. She said, I might not be in. If not, I'll leave them outside the front door for you. You know, because I was going to get there late after I went to see the Freddie Mercury film with my sister and her husband last night. So, okay. From there, I said, well, I'm just going to go and get some cakes now. And then my nephew turned up. My younger nephew turned up, Jimmy. He turned up at the hairdressers. He was sitting there having a little bit of a chat with my niece. So I said, well, I'm going to get them some cakes. Do you want anything? And my niece said, oh, can you get me a couple of dairy-free muesli bars? Now, my niece has got to do dairy-free at the moment, unfortunately, because her newest baby, I say baby, you know, he's over a year old now, Baby James. Baby James is dairy intolerant at the moment, which apparently, and I didn't know this, babies do grow out of that. They can grow out of that. So he can't have like cow's milk. So she has to do all the breastfeeding and all that business. So she can't have dairy because if she has dairy, I think it goes through the milk and into the baby, and then the baby is very ill. So she has to have dairy free. So she said, can I have get me a dairy free muesli bar? I don't know what that muesli, I mean, it's like budgie food, isn't it? You know, and I mentioned it was like budgie food. Well, of course, my niece thought I was taking the mick out of her nose, which I would never do that. Not in 1,000 years will you ever hear me taking the mick out of anyone. Only myself, because as you can see, I have a bit of a budgie's nose. Yeah. Look, someone did ask if I was related to the great Barry Manilow. It is a lie. I'm not related to at the Copacabana. I love Barry Manilow. I've seen him 8 times, you know. I follow him all over the place. Not as many as some of the Manilow fans. Oh my God, they've seen him hundreds of times. I'm sure there are ladies and men out there who have sold houses just to go and see Barry Manilow. Just to go and see our Barry. Yes. Anyway, so I went up to the bakers. They've got the most wonderful bakers here in Woodhall Spa, which is just up the road. That's where my sister lives, Woodhall Spa. And it's got all these cakes on display. Not like a Greggs. Oh, God, no. Not like a Greggs. There are all these different cakes and chocolates on display and different breads and sandwiches, all made with loving hands. And they're so busy in that shop. So I went in there and I'm looking for scones and I found them. Already made with the jam and the cream in, but not like cream that you and I would put on. You know, we get a little teaspoon. I must have too much cream. Do you know what I mean? So you get the scone, cut it in half, the jam goes on, a little bit of cream on that, you know, I might scrape it with a teaspoon. Oh no, the ones in the shop ready made, the cream is like that. It's like that. So I ordered 6 of those because I didn't know who was in my nephew's house. I knew it was him and my sister and his wife. I thought I'd get one for myself, you know, and another couple, just in case other people there. And I got my niece 2 muesli and honey bars, I think they were called, something like that. So I've got those from there. Give the lady, I think, come to £12. Now, I give her £12, say £12.20, okay? So I've given her £22.20. It should give me £8 back. I said, oh, I did give you the other £2 as well. Oh, did you? She opened the till, looked at it. She said, oh yeah, I must have made a mistake. There you go. Sorry about that. I've done that before, actually. Got to be careful when you offer people the odd money, because often they can't work it out themselves. You know, for example, so if something, as I say, if something is £22.20, I made it difficult by saying 20 twice there. If something is £22.30 and you give, sorry, £12.30, and you give her a 20 and say, oh, I've got the odd, here's the extra £2.30, you get £10 back. But something doesn't register in their heads. For example, common sense, okay? And they give you back £8. Well, no, what about the other two? Oh, did you give me that? Yes. And you've got to say to them, yeah, I'll give you £22.30. You can give me a tenner back then. You've got to tell them before you give them the money. Otherwise, they get confused. But it wasn't a problem. She realised straight away and give me the rest of my money. From there, I went back to the hairdressers, okay? And I delivered my niece's muesli bars, which incidentally she didn't offer me the money for. Very disappointing. But I didn't say I was going to pay for them. Oh, talk about take Uncle Chris for a ride. Just took the money. Just ripped these cakes out of my hand. Dear me, no money offered. And from there, I was going to go to my nephew's. Now, the main road, they're doing so much roadworks around here at the moment. It's unbelievable. So the main road between the hairdressers and my nephew's house is closed. Excuse me, can I just blow my nose? Just a minute. I do loud nose blowing. Just a minute. That's better. So we have a detour. I don't know how to do that. I can probably put it on the sat nav and it'll take me. And my nephew said, no, I'm going round there as well. Follow me. But there's no sign on his car. Not like when you go through the Tyne Tunnel. Have you ever been through that? Going up north, the Tyne Tunnel. Yeah? And a little truck comes out and it says, follow me, and you have to follow this track through a dark tunnel. Anything could happen. I mean, you could get bandits or anything, jump on your car, drag you out and do terrible, terrible things to you. Terrible things. I must try more often. Maybe something will happen to me. But there we are. So I'm following, and we got there eventually. I got to my nephew's house. There's about 5 blooming cars parked outside. And I understood the problem. Now, you're wondering what the problem is. He's got a problem with his neighbour. His neighbour doesn't like him or his family. I don't know why. Because they do have to have extra cars around there, because it's like a constant stream of nurses and what would you call it? They're like mobile nurses and helpers that come to assist with the looking after of Olivia, their disabled child. She needs 24-hour care in there, you see. So there's always a couple of cars parked outside. On this particular occasion, there was already 5 there. 5 cars. So it was my nephew's car, my niece's, my niece-in-law's car, my younger nephew's car, the helper's car, and another nurse. That's 5 already. And then I turn up. And we're all parked outside on this corner. So I went down the road. There's another woman who lives opposite. And if you park on the road, on the public highway outside her house, she goes like that. She comes out the window and goes like that. You miserable old bag. Not your bit of road. Public highway, dear. Oh, it's a funny old road, that is. I wouldn't want to live there. Horrible people. The neighbour is awful. He's awful. He comes out screaming and shouting. In fact, it got to the point where the police actually put up a camera, a secret camera, to watch him, and they caught him being horrible. And I had a word, excuse me, sir. Officer Dibble here from the constabulary. I gather you've been very naughty. So that was that. I walked in. My sister was painting away. And I said, here we are. I bought something special, cakes. I opened the cakes. And, of course, we got 6 delicious scones. Like that they were. Full of cream and jam. Oh! So I counted the people. I said, well, that's worked out very well, that has. There's one for you over there. How many people? We've got 5 people here. So there's one for you, one for you, one for you, one for you, and one for you, and 1, 2 for you. Did that work out exactly right? Or was it 4? No, it was four people in there who wanted cakes. There's one for you, one for you, one for you, one for you, and 1, 2 for me. I didn't have 2. Don't worry. Don't start going on about the slimming world. I know. So I sat there and I had that absolutely delicious cream scone. Oh, it was nice. And my sister been painting in there. Unfortunately, I don't know what caused it, but I started getting terrible wind. It was absolutely foul. I don't know where that came. It might have been the baked beans I'd had earlier. Possibly. It was bad. So much to the point my sister almost lost the contents of her stomach on the newly painted wall. Isn't that awful? And this carried on for a while. I don't know what went wrong with my tummy. Awful. I do have a problem with that occasionally. Oh, what awful. From there, I came back here. So that was all right, really. Came back here. On my way back, and here it comes, Claire. If you're still there, Claire, I'll be coming back to your little messages in a minute, my darlings, all right? Here it is, Claire. I've got to show you this. Got to show you this, Claire. And I went past this house, right? And it's for sale. Just run, and it's a quiet road. I wouldn't want to live on a busy road, would you? I've lived on a busy road in Earlsfield years and years ago. It was awful. Oh, just constant noise all the time. Going to show you this house now. And then, if I can show it to you, there we go. If I'm going to show this to you, right? And you can guess how much it's going to cost. Here's that. Now, the house would probably be a bit too big for me. Remember, I'm a chap on my own. I don't need a large house or anything. I don't need a large house. I don't want a large. What's the point of having a 10-bedroom mansion if you're only going to use 2 rooms? Maybe 3 sometimes. There's no point in having a great big mansion. So this is probably this is a bit large, to be honest. I think it would be too big for me. However, let me show it to you. Right, I've got to get, there we go. Right, you can see this on Rightmove. I want you to guess how much this is. Right, so there's the house. Now check out the garden. That is the garden. Look at this, right? Wow. And as you can you see beyond the garden? Fields. Okay. Isn't that fantastic? Look at this. Just amazing. Here's the inside of the house, kitchen there. Nice and bright. We want a bright kitchen. But again, very large. I mean, look at the size of that living room. You know, the other thing is, of course, buying a larger house than you need and you're heating space that you don't use. It's a bit mad, really. Okay, I'll carry on. There's the kitchen again. Dining room. Look at that. You guess how much this is. Remember, we're in Lincolnshire, not London. Okay. Look at this. I'm astounded by this house. My arm's starting to ache now. There's quite a few pictures on this. I'll keep it going. Rightmove.com, this one. Is it you, John? And that is in the garden. It's like they've obviously got a caravan in the garden, which is not residential, but I could use that. I could use it as a studio. Couldn't I? I could turn over the entire caravan to video production. It could just be me 24 hours a day on your computers. How exciting is that? I mean, you're going to have to start buying spare batteries. You'll probably run out of battery while I'm doing a show. I'll continue. Look, but that's in the garden. Now, I've read up on this, and the vendor has said they will remove this before they sell the house if you want that to happen. Or they can leave it there. Up to you. I don't know what I'd do. I'd be inclined to keep that, I think, as my working place, you know, away from the house. Anyway, we'll continue. Oh, is that it? There you go. So the garden, let's have a look. The garden goes to there, and as you can see after that, it's just fields. Look at it, right? More of the garden there. Oh, just beautiful. That's the house next door, so you're not completely cut off. All right. That's about it, isn't it? How many more pictures are there? My arm is really aching now. I'm going to stop there. But there you go. That's the house. And this is in a place called Rowton. If you want to have a look on Rightmove yourself, just type in Rowton and then I'll give you the price. Let's have a look. What have you guessed here? Paul Mosley, 220,000. Oh, Paul. 250,000 said Claire. 180,000 says John Parrish. The actual price it's on there for is £225,000, and it's been on there for about a week. £225,000 for that. I have a house in Bracknell in Berkshire. It's worth about 340 just because it's in Berkshire. All that for 220. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I gotta say, I like it. Look what this comes with. Extended semi-detached. Oh, it's semi-detached. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, of course. Oh, I can see it now. You silly old fool. Look, there's another house. So that's one house. Yeah. It's one. Hang on. Let's just do it like that. Is that better? You out of the? That must be one house there and that one there. So that's a large house and a small house, I suppose. I think one looks smaller than the other. It's got solar panels on it. Okay. So what do you get for that money? Look at this. Extended semi-detached house, extensive attractive gardens, as you saw, vegetable plot and orchard, stunning views across the Bain Valley, 3 bedrooms and a bathroom. Oh, okay. Oh, so it's not as big as I thought. Anyway, lounge and dining room, kitchen with pantry, large single garage and outside utility and WC, solar panels. Freehold. Freehold. It's just amazing. £225,000. Well, you'd offer 210 and go up to 220, wouldn't you? Remember, that's new on, so you've got to be careful when something's new on. If it's popular, someone can whisk that from under your nose, you see. That's the problem with that sort of thing. Isn't that absolutely astounding, that house? And I drove past that yesterday on the way back here. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Right, let's just read some of your messages and then I'll carry on with the story, my darlings. One moment, please. Let's go back there. Good morning to Dean Hoggart, who's in New Zealand. A very good morning to you, Dean. All right. Did I say hello to you, Thomas? I think I said hello to you, Thomas, who's on Vaughan Live. Hello, Thomas. Claire says, I'm not really a ballad singer. I prefer much upbeat numbers that involves everyone to sing along with. Oh, well, do I only want to be with you? It doesn't matter where you are or what you do, 'cause you started something. Do that one, Claire. Huh? And I didn't mean you when I was saying that about the ballads. The name Claire was not about to come out my mouth. No. There's a few in my mouth. People who think they can do ballads and they're awful. Awful. But no names are coming out my mouth. I'm holding them in. I'm holding them in now. Funny enough. Some of the people who do these ballads badly, and then someone else gets up to the sing, call me across and say, Chris, have you heard that one? Oh my God, they're awful, aren't they? That I do not lie to you. That is true. Some of the people who sing ballads badly then call me over when there's another singer on and criticise their singing, and I just have to bite my tongue. You do at karaoke anyway. Thomas, I always make Thomas laugh. I do hope so, Thomas. It's all about having a laugh, mate. It really is about having a laugh, okay? Patrick says, I'm part of the US. I don't get to see British comedy too much. Oh, you get a lot of it on... Oh, you find a lot on YouTube. Can I recommend something to you, Patrick? Dick Emery. D-I-C-K space E-M-E-R-Y. Type that into your YouTube. It's very unpolitically correct and it is hilarious. Try that one. See what you think, Patrick, and perhaps come back to us on the next show, which shall be either tomorrow morning or Sunday morning, okay? When our next show, that is. Okay? Thank you. Let's have a look. Paul says, is that your caravan in the picture? No, but it could be if I bought the house. See, that's the thing is, you know how much I love this particular caravan where I have. I mean, I outlook onto a field here for a pittance, actually. You know, it's going to be costing me about £1,300 in April. That's for the year, not including electricity, but that includes water, rates, bin collections, everything. And you know, even if I bought a place here, would I want to get rid of the caravan? I don't know if I would. Is there anything wrong with having two places in the same area? If it's only costing you pennies, it's quite nice. Quite nice to sort of get away from a different area now and again. Plus, I'm by the river here. Oh, it's lovely here. I'm so lucky, so lucky. Claire says the views from that house are fantastic. Imagine waking up to those views every day. Exactly, Claire. Exactly. I was saying to my sister last night, actually, I wish we had cars already where you could just push that one button and then go to sleep as it ferries you to wherever you want to go. You haven't got to stay awake. You just push the button, off the car goes, and you close your eyes and go to sleep or get on with something else, rather than having to stare at a boring road for miles. If that was the case, I could move up here tomorrow. It's only the drive. I can just about stomach doing the drive up and down. It's not too bad, to be honest, up and down once a week. I couldn't do it every day. You know, drive for sort of 5 hours a day. That would do me head in, wouldn't it? Good morning to Christopher Ireland. Good morning, Chris. Hope you well, sir. Lovely place, tell you. I'm buying a property in Scotland. It's a nightmare. Everything must be done through solicitor, even viewing, due to laws here and costs a fortune. I do the property stuff in England myself. So easy. You should buy an investment. Well, I have. I have got investments. I am a landlord as well, Christopher. I don't know if I told you that before. I'm a landlord as well. When my mother and father died, with my half of the money, I put it into property. And that's done quite nicely, thank you very much. That's and I only did it to make more money. That's the only reason I bought property, to make more money, because it was safe. The actual DJing and the karaoke, and I've always said this, and this thing I'm doing now, I never did this to make money. Certainly the DJing, I just loved music. I loved DJing, and I loved doing karaoke. I didn't do it to make money. I have done quite well out of it, but I never did that to make money, and I still don't do karaoke. I'm paid nicely, thank you very much. Yes, I'm paid quite well for what I do, I think. Not nowhere near as well as drag queens, but I'm quite happy with what I get. You know, don't need to be rich. Honestly, you don't. It's not and unnecessary. These people that are always going on about wanting more, and you see them on the telly all the time. They just want more and more and more. And if you take that attitude towards money, then you are never going to be satisfied. As managers in pubs, I'm sure you've come across some in your past, Chris, where one night they might say, just take a figure out of the sky, they might make £1,000 profit on Monday. Oh, that's fantastic. Let's see if we can beat that tomorrow. So Tuesday comes and they make £1,100. Oh, wow, that's great. Let's see if we can beat that tomorrow. And then the next day they make £1,200. Oh, let's see if we can beat that tomorrow. And it just goes on. And they can never, ever be satisfied. What sort of sad life is that? It's just awful. I don't know how people can live like that. I was a manager in one of the places, I never forget. It was a New Year's Eve. Was I DJing? I think I was, actually. We had about 4 DJs on this night. I was one of them. This is going back 6 or 7 years, I think, something like that. Maybe a little bit more. And I watched the manager keep going over to the till. They're just obsessed with trying to make more money. And at the end of the night, he'd not reached the same level as he did last New Year's Eve by about 50 quid, something silly like that. Well, he went into deep depression. It was hilarious to watch it. He went into deep depression because he was 50. The fact that the pub had taken 25 grand was neither here nor there. Because he had made 50 quid less than last year, he wasn't happy. How can you live like that? Just awful. Just absolutely awful how you can be led by money like that all the time. But there you go. That is some people for you, I'm afraid. It's just how it is. Good morning to Stafford. Morning, Blakey. Morning to you. So how's Peckham this morning? Is it doing all right? Have you had any murders there this morning? Paul says 1,300 years is great value for a caravan pitch. Oh, it really is. I don't have the largest pitch, not by far. There are some very large caravan pitches on this site. I have a smaller one, I'd say, but I'm at the end. So in front of me, I open the door and all I can see is the fields, and that's what it's all about. And they always say that on these property programmes on the telly. It's location, location, location. It's not so much about the house. Certainly for me, it's never been about the insides of a house. Although I must admit, I wouldn't want to go somewhere. I wouldn't want to buy something that has to be done up. Oh, that would do because I'm not a DIY person. Oh no, don't. Oh, here's something I did the other night. So, right. So I've got these new carbon monoxide alarms, which apparently don't double up as smoke alarms. Did you know that? You've got to have both. So I've got these carbon monoxide alarms from B&Q. Okay, so I've opened the packet, 2 screws. Okay, well, how hard can that be? Right? Not only that, in the instruction book, okay, is a piece of paper with a template with 2 dots and a line. There you go. Put that on the wall, put your screws in. Okay, how difficult can that be? So I've put this thing on the ceiling, this template, I've torn it out of the book, put the template on the ceiling. I've got a little a small screwdriver to make holes like that. Small screwdriver. Natalie, you're a bit impatient, aren't you? Aren't you impatient? Bloody well wait, dear. Cool, aren't you impatient? This is the I bet you're are you a millennial, Natalie? Are you a millennial? Aren't you impatient? Yes or no? Yes or no? Cool, dear. Wait, your turn. So, I've got this thing on the ceiling, right? And I've got the screwdriver, like that. And it kind of, I said it moved. I thought, oh, that's moved. Never mind, it'll be all right. Screwdriver. Then I've got the bit of paper and I've lined it up over that hole so I can see where it is. And I've done the other one. Right? So then I've got my, it read, then you put the screws in. Right? You don't put the thing up there and put the screws in. You put the screws in now. And so I put the screws in. Then I've got the gadget. And I thought, well, that's easy. And you just slide the gadget, and it's got those like little holes that are like, they look like, a bit like a keyhole, so they're like that, right? So the idea is you put the big hole over the screw and then just slide it, and that's it, done. So I'm trying to do this, and I've got one in. I can't get the other one in. And I'm kind of pulling it. I'm trying to pull it across. No, not happening. At this point, I've broken one of the holes. On the brand new carbon monoxide alarm, I've broken one. I thought, oh, God. Anyway, fortunately, I bought 2, so I got the other one. And I tried that. And then I realised the screws were too far apart. Now, how have I managed to do that? How is it I cannot do DIY to save my life? I could not get those screws, and it was all wrong. I thought, oh, God, well, I'm going to have to put 2 new screws in. I thought, no, I'm not going to put 2 more screws in because I'm going to muck that up as well, aren't I? I'm no good at DIY. Staffy, are you any good at DIY, Blakey? I could have had you come and put a couple of screws in for me, couldn't I? So then I went to my cupboard and I located my sticky fixers. Sticky fixers. These are little bits of, have I got any in here? No. It's like a piece of foam with sticky either side of it. And you take off the bit of paper on there and you stick that up and then you push the smoke alarm on there, or in this case, the carbon monoxide alarm. You hold it for a few seconds, let go, and it's done. How easy is that? Done. Thank you very much. Covering the 2 incorrect holes that I'd made. Thank you very much. Yes. Terrible, terrible. Natalie, she's the impatient one. Are you the man that played Doctor Who? No, not me. I didn't play Doctor Who. I've never been on. I'm not an actor or anything like that. I'm just sad. I'm sad. I'll get sitting in a room talking to himself most mornings. Good morning. Blakey says you'd make a good drag queen. Money solves not everything. No, you're absolutely right, Blakey. Money doesn't solve everything. I don't know why some people are just obsessed by money, money, money all the time. Just madness. It really is. John says that you've marked the wrong holes. I'm sure I have, John. No, I should have just left it to Martin, my brother-in-law. He can do all these things. Morning to Jerry Millen. Good morning to you. Where have you been? You said, did you come off the Facebook for a while or something, Joey? You haven't been around for a while, have you, Joey? Well, welcome back to the show. Good morning to Michael Lawrence, who's apologising for being late. Oh, you are late this morning, aren't you, Michael? Shocking. I mean, what time do you call this, dear? Where have you been all day? Have you just woken up? Do you work, Michael, or not? Are you lucky enough to have a job? So many people haven't got jobs, isn't it? Terrible, really. All right. So back to the story. After I got home, I had a little bit of a sleep. And as I say, I went over to my sister's house and we had some chips and baked beans and chips, which I picked up from the chip shop in Tattershall, which I have to say was very, very nice indeed. And actually, that will take us nicely to one of the news stories I've got for you this morning. So I've gone in this chip shop in Tattershall, which is quite near the caravan as well. And the bloke's in there, and he noticed I was hobbling along because I've got a bit of a bad back at the moment, unfortunately. Which I did when I opened the oven door the other day. I opened the oven door. So I'm hobbling around and I said, oh yeah, I got a bit of a bad back. He said, oh, I took my son up to the hospital today. What a waste of time that was. I said, go on. He said, well, it was for the meeting that you've had after they've done a scan. Right, so they called him back to the hospital, right? His son took half a day or a day off school. I can't remember what it was now. It doesn't matter. So his son had to take a day off school, gone up to the hospital, waited around for a couple of hours, got the appointment, went in there. Well, thank you very much for coming in. We've looked at the scans and we're going to refer you to the hospital in Nottingham. What a waste of bloody time. Couldn't they have rung him up and told him that? And I don't understand. There's a hell of a lot of time wasted in the NHS. And it's funny that should happen because there is a story on the television this morning on BBC Breakfast News about a very, very similar thing. Now, this is also in The Sun this morning. And it says, millions of hospital visits a year could be replaced by Skype video call appointments. And this is I don't know why this hasn't happened before. Now, I have to go to the hospital twice a year I go now. I used to go more often until my condition was brought under control, which it is now. Now I just go twice a year to make sure everything's functioning correctly. And I'm lucky enough, I'm pleased to tell you, that he is. But I go twice a year. And what happens is that I go, and then they take my blood, right? Okay, 2 weeks before the appointment, right? Then I go home. I'll wait 2 weeks. Sometimes 3 weeks. Doesn't matter too much. And then I go back again. And this is what happens. The doctor, who is just hilarious. I've got the most fantastic specialist doctor you could ever imagine. He is hilarious. And you go in, and he stands up the end. You know, he stands up the end. Miss Reardon! In front of everyone, and you get the embarrassment, dear. Now, some people, and you know this, would be offended by that, wouldn't they? They'd be offended. Can you not do that? They'd write letters. I find it all hilarious. I find life hilarious. If you can't laugh at life, there's no point in bloody well being here. If you want to walk around being depressed and offended and upset by everything going on, then can I suggest you just jump off a cliff? Can I suggest that now? Because you're never, ever going to be happy with anything. You're always going to find something wrong somewhere. No, you've got to laugh at life. You say, Miss Reardon! Shh, I'm like that. What? And he's like, what? Because he knows me quite well. And I go in there, and he goes to his computer, and he goes, right, okay, yep, that's good. Yeah, that's good. I'm about to swear now. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Right. Yeah, that's okay. You're all doing really well. There's your prescription. Piss off. I'll see you in 6 months. And that's what happens. And I've got to be honest, I'm always pleased to see him. It's nice. You get kind of a comfort through going to be almost in physical contact with the doctor who's keeping you alive, making sure that you're okay, right? But I have to say, that trip in and out, when I'm in Berkshire, that's 3/4 of a day, that is. By the time I've driven into London, okay, and driven back out again, you've lost the day. There's no time to do anything else in that day. Now, he could just have easily have rung up. All right, Chris, had a look at your results. Everything's okay. We'll send your tablets to you in the post. Make another appointment for 6 months. That would save me a day. So there is a lot to be said for that. That being said, I do think it should be in the patient's should decide whether or not you want to see. Now, if a doctor says to you, okay, we'll do it by video chat or telephone or something like that, but you really want to see him, I think you should have the option of saying, no, I want to come and see you. But a lot of it can indeed, for example, my thing and the man in the chip shop whose son was told that he'd been referred to another hospital, that could have been done by telephone. And remember, when you go and see a doctor or a consultant, you know, that's a minimum 20 minutes. So that's 20 minutes perhaps someone else could have had who is more in urgent need of seeing a doctor. And this story here says, Britain, millions of hospital visits a year could be replaced by Skype video call appointments. The Royal College of Physicians said it would save the NHS and patient cash and cut road traffic. Skyping could replace up to 1 in 5 hospital visits in The Sun this morning, leading doctors have predicted. I also saw this, as I say, on the BBC Breakfast News. They said 24 million of the 118 million annual outpatient appointments could switch to video calls, phone chats or visits to a GP. And it is absolutely right. It would save NHS cash, help patients avoid travel and... What's that noise? I think there's a bird on my roof. I get birds land on the roof. They always seem to do it at 6 in the morning. I can hear birds walking across the roof in here. It would save the NHS cash, help patients avoid travel and childcare costs, and boost the environment by cutting the number of road trips. And I have to be honest, the journey I do from Bracknell to Hampstead, I go to the Royal Free Hospital twice a year, as I say, for this for my little tests. That can be an absolute pain in the arse, that journey. It should be, in the middle of the night, it would take you less than an hour. Daytime, anything up to an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 3/4. And then you've got to park. Then you've got to pay for the parking. Then go to the hospital. You know, see him for a couple of minutes, come back out, walk all the way back to your car, drive home again, and that traffic, generally on the North Circular Road, which is a pain at the best of times. It's always queuing there on the North Circular Road. It's an absolute nightmare. A doctor of the Royal College of Physicians says, called for working in different ways and using technology available to us. Most people have a smartphone in their pocket. It's a win-win if done properly, and he's absolutely right. I think this is an excellent idea. For many, care can be delivered more timely and conveniently by specialists at the GP surgery or by using technology. But last night, British Medical Association GP committee said Skype would be less popular with older patients. Well, of course it would, you know, because they're not used to it. Excuse me, I was going to blow my nose again. I think there's something stuck up there. Could it be money? Could there be money stuck up my nose? I don't know. But, yes, of course, some older people can't work the Skype, and for them, perhaps that's not the answer. But that being said, there are plenty of young people who are well up on the technology. I mean, my niece, I'm sure my nieces and nephews know far more about computers than I do. So the option should be there for you to choose, not the doctor. I don't think it should be for the doctor to say, well, we're going to have a video call. And then when you say no, well, and the doctor would say, no, that's how it is. No, you should have the option of being able to insist on a visit. I do think that. But there are a lot of cases where it comes to results and things like that where it could be done on the phone, saving an awful lot of time and money and effort and traffic on the blooming road as well. One moment, please. Joey's not been off. Oh, he's not been on. Oh, okay. Joey is on Facebook. He's just not been with the show. Well, welcome back, Joey. Welcome. Okay. Michael Lawrence has just done a night shift. Oh, what do you do, Michael? Do you do chips? Do you do chips? What do you do, Michael? Are you in a restaurant or a what's that thing? Not like a big place, a warehouse, something like that. I'm guessing. I'm only guessing from what you do. Any job is good, though, Michael. Any job is good, my friend. Was I nicknamed Dracula, Ray Reardon? No, I'm not related to Ray Reardon. No, not related to Ray Reardon at all. Joey says you're still waiting in the waiting room for ages before you get seen when you go to the doctors. Yeah, well, yeah, you see, the thing is, and I know people complain about this. They might have a 10 o'clock appointment and at 11:15 they're still waiting to be seen. But a few people before you might have taken a bit longer. You know, I mean, if one person takes a bit longer, it might put an extra 10 minutes on your wait. So if there's like 10 people before you, you can see how the waiting time can build up. But you just have to accept that when you go to the doctors. We have a free NHS, free point of contact. Of course you're paying for it through taxes. Of course you are. But you don't have to pay to go and see a doctor or a hospital or anything like that. And yes, they're very, very busy. And you have to just accept the fact that your 10 o'clock appointment, has been pushed back to 11:15, which may well not be convenient to you, but that's just how it is. Why people have to get on their high horse and, I had an appointment at 11 o'clock, I'm still here at 12 o'clock and no one's spoken to me yet, and we'll just go up and say, can you tell me what the delay is? Yes, the doctor's stopped with someone else. What do you want him to do? Chuck the other person out before, dying just so that you can get to your appointment on time? No. You just have to accept that. The best one, I was having my eye tested. Part of my condition is my eyes, okay? But they're fine now. I don't have to have my eyes checked anymore because they didn't get damaged. But nevertheless, on this particular occasion, I was in the eye department. What was that? Or optometrist department within the hospital. I was sitting there waiting to be done, and this woman's gone up to the desk, and she says, "Can you tell me when? I'm still waiting here. I'm going to have to go home soon." She said, "My appointment was for 10 o'clock, and it's now 20 past." And the woman looked up. Oh, she was fab. The woman behind the desk looked up. She went like that. She says, "Well, the doctors are very busy at the moment." "Well, I'm going to have to go soon if I'm not seen very quickly." "Well, it's up to you, madam. They're your eyes." And with that, she huffed and sat back down again. What do you expect? They do their best. I've been in the place that I go to and there's been some bloke shouting his head off at the doctor. Funnily enough, I was with the same doctor afterwards, not my usual doctor. I'd had a bit of a chest, so I had to go in. I have to be very careful of chest infections. So I went in and I saw this. It was a young lady doctor, and I went round, and I was called in after this bloke had finished shouting and he'd gone. And I sat down and I looked at her and she had tears in her eyes. This young girl doctor had tears in her eyes. She said, "What you come in for?" I said, "Don't worry about me. Are you all right?" And she started crying, not loudly. She said, "Oh, please don't take any notice. It's just one of those things." I said, "It's not one of those things." I said, "I just heard what happened." I said, "And I'm really sorry that happened to you. I know that you do the best, and I know that you get delayed and all that." I said, "No one's got a right." I said, "Just sit down there for a minute and take it easy, and I'll wait here until you're ready." Awful people. How you can sit there shouting and screaming at doctors and nurses who are just doing the best things they can. It's just awful people. You need to accept that the fact that you're so bloody lucky in this country that we've got the NHS. If you go to America, no insurance, you're left to die on the floor. Oh, God. Let me tell you, don't ever go to America without travel insurance. You make sure you've got that right travel insurance. Because if you don't, and something goes wrong, you'll come back here and you'll have to sell your house to pay some greedy bastard who's making a fortune out of sick people. No one said, You see, no one should make money out of sick people. I think it's just so wrong. So wrong. And I do understand the other side of it. I know some of the drugs are very, very expensive. Some drugs are very, very expensive. On the other side of the coin, drug companies who are making these vast amounts of money, okay, they have spent a fortune developing a drug to keep you alive or make you better. That's why they're trying to get the costs back in to make the next sort of drugs. Of course, they are making money. Of course, they are. I don't know what the profit margin is to profit and profit and making new stuff. What's that? Investigations. You know, when they're looking for another cure for something. That. I don't know how much they would spend on that in comparison to profits, but they have to make small profits to look for the next thing. They have to make large profits, right? Michael says, my doctor is a bit camp. Is he really? But then I want out with my mates for a meal, then a pub, and see you, doctor, at the same pub. What a small world. Oh, that's camp, that is, Michael. You're not with Dr. Mike by any chance, are you, Michael? You're not with Dr. Mike, are you? That's my one. Michael works in a warehouse, so thank you very much. And good morning to Mr. Gregorian, who's just joined us right at the end of the show there, Mr. Gregorian. We're going to go now. Go before you break my heart once more is what I'm waiting for. All right. Peter's just joined us, I think. Is that you there, Peter? I think Peter's just joined us as well. Good morning to Peter. He joins us. Okie doke. There's a couple of messages here. Let me see if they related to the show. 1 second, and then we'll do today's birthdays. Now, don't forget, it's karaoke tonight. Let's just... have I got my karaoke caption there? I haven't. Karaoke tonight. It's Friday night karaoke. Do join us. Excuse me. Do join us at Central Station Bar tonight. Friday karaoke at Central Station Bar in Wharfdale Road, King's Cross. Starts at 8:30 and goes right the way through until midnight tonight. Now, I'm having trouble getting these birthdays up this morning for some reason. 1 second. Oh dear, I can't get those. Oh, there we go. That's me trying to do too many things at the same time, I think. Ooh. No, is that not happening? Come on, where are you? Don't go, says Dr. Gregorian. I've got to go, mate. Things to do. Friday's a bit tight for me. I have to start getting things ready to go back down south, you see. Here we go. Julia Wright. Good morning to you, Julia. Julia White, I beg your pardon. Julia White, whose birthday I did a number of years ago now. Happy birthday, Julia. She used to be one of the customers in Belushi's in Hammersmith, where I had such a wonderful time there hosting the karaoke. Happy birthday to you, Julia, okay? Happy birthday to Shirley Paulson. Morning, Shirley. Happy birthday to you. Steve Bacon. Morning, Steve. Long time no see. Steve again, one of our karaoke singers at Hammersmith Belushi's. 67 years old today. Good on you, mate. That was Australian. Did you hear my a little Australian accent there? Happy birthday, Steve Bacon. Lucky Luke is 36 years old on this Friday, the 9th of November. Robert Dagg. Good morning, Robert, and a big happy birthday to you, sir. Liz Hookway, it's her birthday today. Good morning, Liz. William Luke Steele is a young 27 years old today. Jeff Ball's birthday today. And Kevin Walsh. My God, is it a whole year since I've done your birthday? That's unbelievable, isn't it? I don't know where the time goes. He's just a couple of years behind me at 53 years old today. Kevin Walsh is another karaoke host. He's been doing it for far, far longer than me. He's held down some really long residencies. One at the Two Brewers in Clapham on Tuesdays, and the other one at Halfway to Heaven on... Is it Mondays? Mondays or Thursdays, I think he's there. Or both. One of the two. Anyway, happy birthday to Kevin. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Dear. Happy birthday to you. Enjoy your birthdays, gang. Once again, tonight it's karaoke, Friday night karaoke at Central Station in Wharfdale Road, King's Cross. We will, of course, stream the show, as always, technically permitting, okay? And you'll be able to see the stream where you're watching this now, round about 8:30. Sometimes a bit earlier, sometimes a bit later, but around about 8:30 tonight, coming to you live from Central Station. Thanks very much for watching the show today. Robert says, Christmas before you go. What happened after the chip shop? What happened after the chip shop? Oh, after the chip shop. Sorry, did I not finish that story? Ah, well, we've done that bit. After the chip shop, we went and saw the film. Bohemian Rhapsody film from Queen at the Kinema in the Woods, which was just fantastic. Highly recommended that you go and see that film. Won't tell you what's in it, but it's very good. It's very good. And that was the end of my day yesterday. And that is the end of the show today. Have a lovely day, boys and girls. Thanks very much for watching and listening. And I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye now.